30-40 साल तक वो नेता रहे, मंत्री रहे, सांसद रहे। उनकी दोस्ती सभी पार्टियों से हुआ करती थी, पर वो एक अटल और दृढ़ कांग्रेसी थे और उन्होंने कांग्रेस का कभी साथ नहीं छोड़ा।
Well, so senior Congress leader and former Union Minister Milind Deora is all set to join the Shiv Sena today as well. This coming across from likely sources. Now, at about 10:30 p.m., he's expected to leave his residence, which is Ramalayam, for Siddhivinayak temple. And MLA Shri Sada Sarvankar is going to be present and accompanying Milind Deora over there. At about 11, Shri Siddhivinayak Darshan is what Milind Deora is going to be expecting. At 12 noon, he's going to be paying respects at the Bala Saheb Thackeray statue, the Regal Cinema in Mumbai. So it's a proper itinerary for Milind Deora today. About 12:30 p.m., he's going to arrive at Ramalayam back at about 1:30 p.m. And these are, of course, source-based information at the moment. At about 1:30 p.m. in the afternoon, he's going to leave for the official residence of the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde, at the Varsha Bungalow in Malabar Hill. He's going to be accompanied by 10 former municipal corporators, because 2 p.m. At Paksh Pravesh, Honorable Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Eknath Shinde, is going to be present with senior ministers and other party leaders, 25 party functionaries. There are top traders and merchant unions. And it seems like it's all, the stage is set essentially for Milind Deora to be joining the Eknath Shinde faction of the Shiv Sena. For more on this and to divulge and decode and try to read between the lines of him quitting the Congress party at a surprising note ahead of Bharat Jodo Nyay Yatra, so close and at the heels of the 2024 general elections, Kiran Tare, my colleague, joins us on the broadcast here. Kiran, I wouldn't say this is a shocker per se, but it has certainly surprised the Congress party now, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, see the timing of Milind Deora's move. Today, Rahul Gandhi is going to launch the second leg of his Bharat Jodo Yatra, which he will attract national attention for that. And at the same time, there is a Makar Sankranti being celebrated in Maharashtra and all over the country. So in Marathi, there is a phrase that on a Makar Sankranti day, you should leave your bitterness and offer the sweetness. That Tirgul Gaya and Gud Bola. So this bitterness had happened exactly reverse. 55 years of sweetness has gone, and now the bitterness has started between the Congress and the Deoras. Milind Deora particularly. We had broke this story yesterday, as the viewers know, that Milind Deora was on his way to the Shiv Sena, and then now the reports are coming that he might be offered a Rajya Sabha seat. He is not going to contest the South Mumbai Lok Sabha seat, which was the initial information. But my information is that he will be offered a Rajya Sabha nomination, and he will be accommodated in the Union Cabinet if the NDA returns to the power after May 2024. This is what the latest development is. South Mumbai Lok Sabha constituency is going to be contested by the BJP only, and the BJP will definitely not field Milind Deora in that seat. But Milind Deora, he has certainly made his plans clear. He has said that there was no importance to the Karyakarta in the Congress party. That's a big statement. And again, I will say the timing. So many trusted lieutenants of Rahul Gandhi have left the Congress, and see the timing of that. Earlier it was Jitin Prasad, then Jyotiraditya Scindia, Sachin Pilot had also tried the same thing, and now Milind Deora. Milind Deora was in the inner circle of Rahul Gandhi, so it has come as a big blow, definitely, to Rahul Gandhi in particular.
And what about the parties in the India alliance in Maharashtra? How do you think they are going to be faring now? How do you think they are going to be reacting? What must be going through somebody like Sharad Pawar's mind right now?
I think more than Sharad Pawar, there is some kind of unsatisfaction and some kind of unhappiness in the Congress, because Congress was the only party which was remained untouched so far. The BJP had tried to get rift in the Shiv Sena. They managed. They succeeded in that. There was a rift in NCP as well, but Congress was the only untouched party. So this untouchedness has broken today. Milind Deora has opened a door, and I think there will be an influx of Congress people joining the BJP in coming days. There are already some speculations and rumors about a large chunk of Congress MLAs from Marathwada and Vidarbha. They are on the way to the BJP. So I think Milind Deora has opened the door, and my guess is that in coming days, many more congressmen will be joining the BJP, not the Shiv Sena factor. But here, what has happened that after Milind Deora, almost half of South Mumbai's Congress is on way to Shiv Sena. Shiv Sena, when
Right.
I'm saying Shiv Sena, it's Eknath Shinde Shiv Sena, because it's now very loud and clear that Shiv Sena is owned by, or Shiv Sena is led by the Eknath Shinde faction. So Eknath Shinde plus Milind Deora, it could be a good combination in South Mumbai. Eknath Shinde needs a credible face who can represent the party in Delhi, who can influence the English-speaking affluent people, intellectual people, and Milind Deora is a right choice for him. At present, he doesn't have anyone who can influence the intellectual class, but Milind Deora could be a good option for him. And for the Eknath Shinde faction or for the BJP, catching a person like Milind Deora is also their way to give a bloody blow to the Congress. And as I said earlier, it had opened the door, and many more congressmen will follow.
You know what, Kiran? When the Prime Minister was in Nashik, I categorically remember one of those visuals playing out where on the top of the road show, on the top of the car, you had Ajit Pawar, you had Eknath Shinde, you had the Prime Minister, you had the Prime Minister's bodyguards, of course, over there as well. Take a look at those, some of those visuals. I mean, सब बहुत फंस के खड़े हैं इसके ऊपर. Because everybody wants a piece of that cake. I remember when Ajit Pawar was trying to jump ship and finally make his way into this combine and coalition in Maharashtra, a lot of speculation and, words of dissentment and, words of conflict that came out from both the camps, from Eknath Shinde supporters and Ajit Pawar supporters as well. So now Milind Deora is now in this mix as well. Do you think that's going to create some sort of problem? Because the cake and the size of the cake remains the same.
Yeah, but they will have to make a space for another person on the jeep in future when Prime Minister Modi comes to Maharashtra. Of course, there are certain people, but as I said, Milind Deora is joining the Shiv Sena. So Shiv Sena is already a part of the ruling combine. The stature of Milind Deora will be depending on how Eknath Shinde offers him a good position in the party and how he will be utilized on a political front. At present, only Shrikant Shinde is the face who can attract the you are saying the youths and all the affluent people, the intellectual class. Milind Deora's entry in Shiv Sena will boost that campaign by Eknath Shinde government. Eknath Shinde is trying to send another message that yes, we also have some kind of people, and it's not only the BJP who can accommodate the outsiders. We can also do that. Plus, Milind Deora has a good connection in South Mumbai. Milind Deora can influence the non-Maharashtrian voters as well. So he could play a very big role in the Lok Sabha election as well. As we have seen in the case of Jyotiraditya Scindia did not contest the Lok Sabha election, did not contest the assembly election in Madhya Pradesh, but he was used for campaign all over the state. Similarly, Milind Deora will be used for campaign in Lok Sabha seats in the pockets in Mumbai, Pune, and other places where he has some kind of appeal. That will help the Eknath Shinde government, Eknath Shinde party as well, Eknath Shinde's Shiv Sena, to give a support to the BJP. What will they get in return? That will be a matter of discussion after the Lok Sabha elections.
Absolutely. We just heard Jairam Ramesh just a short while ago. And Kiran, I mean, with the input that we've received about how Jairam was the bridge between Milind Deora and Rahul Gandhi when he was trying to put forth his own concerns and, trying to voice his opinion about the South Bombay constituency and about what happened in 2014 and 2019 and how it should now come back to the Congress party. How long was it that this problem was brewing? Was it something that the Congress party could have paid attention to a little bit more and avert something like a tall leader like Milind Deora leaving the grand old party after 55 years of his family's alliance with the party?
See, Milind Deora lost back-to-back elections in South Mumbai. He was made the Mumbai president of the Congress, but he had to resign after the Congress debacle in the last Lok Sabha election. So the things started going worse from that particular day. Milind Deora had understood that yes, it's not going to work in his favor. And the most important part, the nail in the coffin, was the alliance with the Shiv Sena. The Maharashtra Vikas Aghadi government, when it became clear that there will be a three-party alliance, that's Congress, NCP and the Shiv Sena, Milind Deora got a first wind that his seat is in danger. Because South Mumbai seat is represented by Arvind Sawant, who represents Uddhav Thackeray's camp. Now, what has happened that in the pre-poll alliance, Shiv Sena is adamant to contest from South Mumbai, whereas Congress appears to have given that seat to the Shiv Sena. That was the signal that Milind Deora's political career from South Mumbai Lok Sabha constituency is almost over. That was the thing. He realized that it's not beneficial or it's not profitable to continue with the Congress. Though he has been saying that there are ideological differences between Shiv Sena and Congress, we can't support their ideology, they can't support our ideology. But interestingly, he is going to join Shiv Sena itself. So there is not a matter of ideologies, it's a matter of purely a pragmatic politics. He saw his future was in blank. He did not see any fortunes in Congress. That's why this speech over.
Yeah. All right. You know what, Kiran, I'm being told that Sanjay Raut has given a reaction to this. I'm interested in listening into what, Sanjay Raut has to say. Let's quickly play that out. Kiran, do stay on with us. We'll come back for more.
वे कहाँ रही निष्ठा, विचार, आइडियोलॉजी? अब ये नहीं रही है। सब सत्ता की राजनीति है, खोखे की राजनीति है और कुछ नहीं। हम कांग्रेस के वरिष्ठ नेता मुरली देवरा जी को जानते थे, बहुत ही बड़े नेता थे। कांग्रेस के साथ उनका जो लगाव था, उनकी जो निष्ठा थी, हम उनके सभी को बोलते थे उनका आदर्श रखिए कि पार्टी के लिए क्या करना चाहिए, कैसा त्याग करना चाहिए।
Yeah, Kiran, I'm sure you heard that as well. निष्ठा नहीं रह गई है, सत्ता की राजनीति है. But those are the statements that are now coming across from, of course, India bloc members as well.
No, that is a very routine political statement, we can say. If any time the politicians switch over the side, the same reaction appears to have come from. But it has, when it comes to ideology and the connection with the Deora family, with the Congress, there is no doubt it was the Deora family's contribution which made the Congress stronger in the Mumbai city.
Right.
Milind Deora's father, Murli Deora, was the Mumbai Congress president for 22 years in continuation. And that's a record. Nobody can break that record so far. So Deora's connections with the Congress is okay, all that fine, everybody knows. But one thing also has to be considered here, that what the Deoras got in return. If the Congress is not playing its card well, and the Congress is adamant to give the South Mumbai Lok Sabha seat to the Shiv Sena, then Milind Deora's political career is virtually over. He is not promised even a Rajya Sabha seat, which is promised by Eknath Shinde. So any politician who will definitely think about his own political career rather than the party's fortunes. And when it comes to the Congress is such an shambles now that the politicians and the Congress members are worried about their own fortunes rather than the party's fortunes, wherever it is, whether it's Maharashtra or outside Maharashtra. So it's a very pragmatic politics. Anybody can call it a change in ideological shift or a ditch with the party, but it's a pragmatic politics. That's why how I look at it.
Well, absolutely. I mean, on a day when the second leg of the Bharat Jodo Yatra, the Bharat Jodo Nyay Yatra is about to, start, something like this happens, and it certainly has shaken the preamble of Congress's structure in Maharashtra for sure. Kiran Tare with all the latest details over there. Many thanks for joining with us and helping us out with this particular cracking news. Milind Deora, well, he's officially resigned and ended a 55-year relationship with the Congress party and the Deora family. Now, before we move on, of course, we must also mention that all roads leading up to Ayodhya, which is preparing for the Ram Mandir Pran Pratishtha on the 22nd of the January. Stay with News9 Live for the mega coverage of the entire event, ladies and gentlemen.
Ram's Ayodhya rebuilt. Ram Lala's Pran Pratishtha. Countdown to January 22nd. Dateline Ayodhya. Catch the mega coverage only on News9 Live.
And next up, the second leg of Congress's Bharat Jodo Yatra, called the Bharat Jodo Nyay Yatra, all set to kickstart from Thobal district. Politics against, for, what does the yatra entail? Where is it going to start from? Where is it going to lead up to? What does the demographics look like? What all states will it cover? Everything. This is your one-stop shop to understand Congress's Bharat Jodo Nyay Yatra. Well, now the yatra is set to begin from Thobal district today to highlight social issues. That is what the focus is going to be, such as unemployment, price rise and social justice. Now, the Congress asserted that this is an ideological yatra and not an electoral one. The party stated that the motive of this yatra was to end a Nyayakal of 10 years of the Modi government ahead of the Lok Sabha polls, of course, that is scheduled for this year. Now, the yatra will pass through 100 Lok Sabha constituencies across 15 states and will cover a distance of about 6,800 kilometers in buses and on foot. This march will cover about 110 districts in 67 days and is expected to conclude in Mumbai on the 20th or the 21st of March. The Congress's Nyay Yatra, with the focus of the yatra, is going to be political and social injustice. It will go through 355 Lok Sabha constituencies as well. Now, the Congress had won only 14 of these seats back in 2019. The seats that the yatra is now going to entail and cover. Only 14 of those the Congress managed to win in the year 2019. Some of those visuals of earlier in the day when Rahul Gandhi left his residence for the airport. He is also going to be in Manipur soon enough, where from Thobal district it is going to be the first day and the first leg of the Bharat Jodo Nyay Yatra, which is all set to kick off. Meanwhile, Jairam Ramesh, his reaction, let's quickly listen in to what he has to say.
ये तो हमारे लिए और हमारे भारतीय राजनीति के लिए परिवर्तनकारी क्षण है। भारत जोड़ो यात्रा से हमारे संगठन में एक नई उमंग आई, एक नई एकजुटता दिखाई दी और हम जो हमारे लिए हमें शक्ति की जरूरत थी, फिर से हमने उसको पुनर्जीवित किया। उसी को आगे लेते हुए राहुल गांधी जी ने भारत जोड़ो न्याय यात्रा निकालने की निर्णय लिए उन्होंने, और आज से मणिपुर से अगले 67 दिनों के लिए 6,000-2,000 किलोमीटर लंबा भारत जोड़ो न्याय यात्रा निकाली जाएगी, जिसका अंतिम समारोह मुंबई में होगा। तो मणिपुर से मुंबई तक की यात्रा होगी।
Well, for more on the Bharat Jodo Nyay Yatra, my colleague Varghese Abraham joins us from the newsroom. Varghese, what's the latest that you're picking up vis-a-vis the Bharat Jodo Nyay Yatra? On a day when we're already talking about Milind Deora, do you think this is something that has come at a very happy time for the Congress party?
Well, it is not the right way to start off with. Actually, one of your close aides quitting early in the morning itself, sending out a tweet saying that he doesn't plan to, in fact, join the yatra. At the same time, he also doesn't plan to, in fact, be there. And Milind Deora, being one of the close aides, quitting does not augur well from Rahul's inner circle, especially when you're trying to raise the fortunes of the party. However, speaking about what is happening with regard to the Nyay Yatra, it has been the Congress plan that it had to cover the Hindi states as such in a large manner. It passes through 100 constituencies, Lok Sabha constituencies, and as you rightly pointed out, saying that only 19 of those constituencies the Congress had won in 2019. Now, it starts from Imphal and it will in fact move towards around March 2021. It's expected to end in Mumbai. So there is a huge traversing of 15 states. Around 6,700 kilometers is what we are seeing the yatra to traverse. And after that, probably the big campaign is going to be kicked out. So you can technically say that the Congress's election campaign has technically for 2024 has been kicked up with the Nyay Yatra. Now, they're trying to build on the Bharat Jodo Yatra and how it will, in fact, have its impact. However, we have to see still the kind of impact the Bharat Jodo Yatra had, in fact, given in terms of electoral politics in some of these states which had gone to polls. Well, it seems to have not had that kind of effect it was supposed to have had. But recently, we can in fact see whether traversing through the Hindi heartland with this yatra, will the Congress be able to in fact regain some of that strength? Because already you have seen how Prime Minister Modi, a wave kind of a thing has been created, especially when it comes to the Ram temple and the inauguration of it. But how much of an impact this yatra will have is another big question that the Congress is trying to in fact answer by itself. But the fact remains, it's going to be a tough task convincing the voters in the Hindi belt. It has been losing out on that front, and therefore it's been a difficult task for them.
Well, the Congress's Bharat Jodo Nyay Yatra, it is going to kick-start soon. There is a little bit of a delay over there, Varghese, due to the foggy conditions here in the national capital. The flight hasn't been able to take off at the right time, is what we're picking up. But it seems that hasn't dampened the spirits of all these Congress leaders, Pawan Khera, Sachin Pilot, all those faces that we saw making their way to the airport. You know what? Stay on with us. We've got a reaction coming across from Rajiv Shukla, one of those Congress leaders, and then we'll come back for more, Varghese.
भारत न्याय यात्रा की शुरुआत होने जा रही है, क्या कहना चाहेंगे?
यही कहना चाहेंगे कि ऐतिहासिक यात्रा होगी, जैसे पिछली यात्रा सफल रही। इसमें न्याय शब्द और जोड़ा गया है कि जो अन्याय हो रहा है लगातार देश की जनता के साथ, तो न्याय दिलाने के लिए राहुल जी आज मणिपुर से शुरू कर रहे हैं और 6,500 किलोमीटर की यात्रा होगी पूर्व से लेकर पश्चिम तक, तो पूरे देश की जनता में जागृति पैदा कर देगी।
कितने लोग इसमें जुटेंगे, कितनी संख्या है लगभग?
लाखों करोड़ों लोग इसमें शामिल होंगे।
Well, Rajiv Shukla over there, Varghese, quite nonchalantly saying that crores and lakhs will join. Don't you worry about that. The first yatra was successful. This time we've added the word, nyay to it, justice to it. And, over the course of the press conference yesterday as well, Jairam Ramesh pointed out quite about 2-3 times that this is not an electoral yatra. This is more like an ideological yatra. We're going to focus on social and economic injustice more.
Well, you know quite well that politicians don't say the thing that they are obviously supposed to say, and they try to, in fact, give a different bend to it. But yes, Jairam Ramesh did say that it is about trying to highlight economic and social causes and issues that are there in these areas. But the fact remains is that it is a subtle campaign message. We have to understand 2024 is around the corner, and it is a subtle campaign message. You can, advertise it and you try to camouflage the political motivation of it. But the fact remains is that it was the second leg of the Bharat Jodo Yatra that was supposed to happen. So in that, you have just ensured that the word Nyay has been put into it. So it is electoral campaigning that you are doing. It's not about ideological part or trying to revive your ideology. You are going through some of those tough constituencies where your presence has been completely degraded. So the idea of the yatra is to actually pick up momentum. The idea of the yatra has been actually to pick up the spirits of your grassroots workers who has also been diminishing. So we all know that it has the political intent. It has the political messaging that has been encoded in it. No matter how much we try to camouflage it, it is there. And since it's coming just ahead of the elections, the fact remains is that the social issues that the Congress wants to highlight, especially starting the yatra from Manipur, the violence in Manipur, and then onwards going towards the various Hindi heartlands, we've seen the kind of issues that they have talked about. They've talked about crime, they have talked about women-centric issues, they've taken about law and order, they've talked about economics, agricultural economics to a large extent. And this yatra will also be the same. It will be trying to focus on these factors, especially on agrarian crisis, the lower urban grouping which faces the issue of inflation. So all these issues are going to be highlighted, and therefore the subtle messaging will be based on that.
All right. Well, Varghese, we're going to have to slip into a quick commercial break over here, but we're going to keep coming back to you, and you can vouch on News9 to all the viewers out there to be bringing you the actual right corroborated information when it comes to Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Nyay Yatra. That Indigo flight, it was a little bit delayed due to the foggy conditions, but it seems like that Yatra is going to kick off any time now. Yesterday, Rahul Gandhi, he did put out that anthem as well, Hum Pahunchenge Har Ghar Tak, न्याय का हक मिलने तक, गली मोहल्ला संसद तक, न्याय का हक मिलने तक. Also trending that hashtag, saho mat, daro mat. More on the other side, slipping into a quick break. Keep watching News9 Live.
Ram's Ayodhya rebuilt. Ram Lala's Pran Pratishtha. Countdown to January 22nd. Dateline Ayodhya. Catch the mega coverage only on News9 Live.
वर्ष 2070 तक भारत नेट जीरो का लक्ष्य हासिल करेगा.
There's certainly a wall of capital coming into the clean tech, climate tech space, not just in India but across the world.
This and more, streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now.
The scale of the attack was something that we were surprised at. David Hadley was a double agent. The Americans did not want him to be fully exposed, so all that he probably shared with the Americans was not shared with us in terms of intelligence. If we had that, I'm sure that we would have been able to deal with the situation far better.
This and more, streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now.
Bangalore traffic is an example of something that has gone wrong with our system.
We have more than 50 flyovers in Bangalore city. If flyover is a solution to traffic problem, Bangalore should not have traffic problem.
According to TomTom Traffic Index 2022, Bangalore is ranked as the second worst city in the world when it comes to traffic.
The speed limit at the ORR is 80 kilometers per hour, but our vehicle has only moved 10 kilometers per hour.
What Bangalore needs is a surgery, but what we have been offered repeatedly are band-aids.
Only on the world's first news OTT. News9 Plus. Ahead of the curve.
Welcome back. You're watching News9 Live. Now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will be celebrating Pongal in the national capital today. Pongal is a harvest festival of great significance in the southern part of the country. It is a 4-day harvest festival dedicated to the sun god. And this year, Prime Minister Modi will be participating in the celebrations at Union Minister Dr. L. Murugan's house in the national capital. Now, Dr. Murugan, who is the Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting in Prime Minister Modi's cabinet, is likely to contest the Lok Sabha 2024 elections from the Nilgiri constituency in his home state of Tamil Nadu. Now, with a strong hold over the northern part of the country, the BJP is now looking to expand its foothold in the south, and Tamil Nadu is a major focus for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Prime Minister Modi participating in the Pongal celebrations comes on the back of the government's two major Tamil outreach programs, the Kashi Tamil Sangamam and the Saurashtra Tamil Sangamam. And freezing cold wave continues to hit Delhi NCR and North India, with dense fog reducing the visibility to almost zero in some parts of the national capital. Delhi experienced the coldest day of the season on Saturday, with the minimum temperature plummeting to 3.6 degrees Celsius following the first cold wave day. Some of those visuals on your screens as well. Dense to very dense fog completely engulfed the city, leaving residents shivering even during the daytime. Neighboring Gurgaon recorded the lowest minimum temperature in the region at 2.7 degrees Celsius, And Noida, also part of NCR, witnessed its coldest day of the season with the mercury dropping to 4.6 degrees Celsius, whilst Ghaziabad recorded the season's lowest at 5.2 degrees. The Met Department has warned that dense fog and prevailing cold wave conditions are expected to persist in parts of northwest India till the 16th of January, causing disruptions in daily life for sure. Visibility dropped to zero across various regions, affecting transportation, with 22 trains delayed and flight operations disrupted at Delhi's Indira Gandhi International Airport.
Ram's Ayodhya rebuilt. Ram Lala's Pran Pratishtha. Countdown to January 22nd. Dateline Ayodhya. Catch the mega coverage only on News9 Live.
And as the inauguration of the Ram temple nears, people have started to gather in Ayodhya from all over the country and from abroad as well, including Nepal. Thousands of devotees from Nepal also travelled to Ayodhya for the consecration ceremony. Here's a complete report. Take a look.
अयोध्या में भगवान श्री राम की प्राण प्रतिष्ठा से पहले एक बहुत बड़ा महायज्ञ भी होने वाला है और जिस जगह पर यह महायज्ञ होने वाला है उसी जगह पर मैं मौजूद हूं। सबसे पहले आपको ये तस्वीरें दिखा सकते हैं कि जो श्रद्धालु हैं वो इकट्ठा होने शुरू हो गए हैं। यहाँ पर जय श्री राम के नारे लगाते हुए आप देख सकते हैं ये तस्वीरें कि तमाम श्रद्धालु यहाँ पर एकत्रित होने शुरू हो गए हैं और मुख्य आयोजक जो इस महायज्ञ के हैं वो इस वक्त हमारे साथ हैं, नेपाली बाबा, और उनसे ही बातचीत करेंगे और किस तरह का ये बड़ा आयोजन, विशाल आयोजन वो करने जा रहे हैं उसके बारे में सबसे पहले उनसे पूछेंगे कि कितने हजार यज्ञ कुंड बनवाए हैं आपने। पूरी चर्चा हो रखी है, देश भर में इसकी चर्चा है।
देखो लाला, 2015 में एक विशाल जगह ऐसा ही किए थे। उस समय हमारे अशोक सिंघल जी थे, नित्य गोपाल दास जी थे, परमहंस जी थे और धर्मदास जी महाराज थे। सब लोग ऐसे सब महापुरुष यहाँ उपस्थित हुए। तो लोगों ने कहा कि हम लोग वर्षों से जूझ रहे हैं राम मंदिर के लिए। हमने कि ये राम नाम के प्रभाव से आपका राम मंदिर बन जाएगा और 10 साल के अंदर ही बन जाएगा। तो सिंघल जी ने कहा कि 10 साल के अंदर बन जाएगा तो फिर क्या ऐसा हो सकता है? हम फिर होगा ऐसा। तो संकल्प हम लोग 15 से लिए हुए थे, उस संकल्प को मैं पूरा कर रहा हूँ। अभी जो 1008 मड़वा बना हुआ है उसमें 1008 शिवलिंग नर्मदेश्वर नर्मदा जी से मंगाया गया है और सब में स्थापना होगी। और ये जो आप देख रहे हैं तो 21,000 आदमी, ये सब नेपाल के सब भक्तगण हैं। ये हर मड़वा में 15 आदमी, 13 आदमी, 20 आदमी 55 चरचर की टोली करके 9 दिन 9 रात 1008 अष्टजाम करेंगे रामलला को प्राण प्रतिष्ठा के शुभ अवसर पर कि सफलता सुनिश्चित हो। वेद शास्त्र के जो हम कर्म करते हैं तो वेद शास्त्र में त्रुटियां होती है, लेकिन सारे त्रुटियों को पूरा करने के लिए भगवान का नाम है। जहाँ भगवान का नाम नहीं है तो वेद शास्त्र में तो त्रुटि होता ही है। इसमें 1100 दंपति हवन करेंगे राम मंत्र से। वाल्मीकि जी में, वाल्मीकि रामायण में 24,000 श्लोक है। 24,000 श्लोकों द्वारा 1100 दंपति इसमें 9 दिन हवन करेंगे। और जो देख रहे हैं आप लोग, आए होंगे भंडारा वंडारा, तो आप लोग देखिए रहे हैं। तो आज से मैं भंडारा खोल दिया हूँ। तो मैं आग्रह करता हूँ कि हमारे अयोध्या में जो श्रद्धालु भक्त दर्शन इत्यादि के लिए जो आए हैं तो प्रसाद एक बार जरूर आकर के यहाँ ग्रहण करें। मैं सबको सादर आमंत्रित करता हूँ। आज से मैं भंडारा आज के डेट में मैं खोल दिया हूँ।
अयोध्या में भगवान श्री राम के प्राण प्रतिष्ठा कार्यक्रम को लेकर पूरी अयोध्या को सजाया और संवारा जा रहा है। इस बीच एक और संयोग बन रहा है। वो संयोग है कि इसी दौरान जो तुलसी पीठ के पीठाधीश्वर है राम भद्राचार्य जी का जो जन्मदिन है, 75वां जन्मदिन मनाया जा रहा है और उसको बड़े स्वरूप में मनाया जा रहा है। और इस मौके पर अयोध्या में भगवान श्री राम की कथा का आयोजन किया जा रहा है और इसी मसले पर तुलसी पीठ के उत्तराधिकारी रामचंद्र दास जी हमारे साथ हैं। कितना बड़ा संयोग है, एक तरफ भगवान राम और एक तरफ तुलसी पीठ के पीठाधीश्वर का जन्मदिन और राम कथा, वो भी अयोध्या में।
गोस्वामी तुलसीदास जी महाराज ने जब राम जी के जन्म का प्रकरण लिखा तो वहां पर लिखा है कि जोग लगन ग्रहबार तिथि सकल भय अनुकूल चर अरु अचर हरसजुद राम जन्म सुखमूल। तो वही परिस्थिति बन रही है कि सारा जोग लगन ग्रहबार तिथि सब अनुकूलता से बन रहा है। अपने आप में कहें कि 550 वर्षों का इतना लंबा संघर्ष, ये कोई सामान्य कार्यकाल नहीं होता। ना जाने कितनी पीढ़ियां एक आशा लेकर चली गई कि कब हम रामलला को भव्य मंदिर में देखेंगे। हम महलों में रहते हैं, हम बड़े बड़े हवेलियों में रहते हैं, लेकिन हमारे प्रभु त्रिपाल में ये आशा, ये पीड़ा, ये वेदना, इस कष्ट को लेकर ना जाने कितनी पीढ़ियां चली गई। और अंत में आते आते जब मुकदमा उच्च न्यायालय में आया इलाहाबाद में, तो गुरुदेव उस समय प्रस्तुत हुए साक्ष्यों के साथ और राम भक्तों की ओर से रामलला के पक्ष में गुरुदेव ने साक्ष्य दिए और फिर सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने उन साक्ष्यों को भी स्वीकारा। ये राम भक्तों का बलिदान, उनका संघर्ष, उनकी तपस्या और गुरुदेव ने जो साक्ष्य दिए, मुझे लगता है कि रामलला को कहीं न कहीं, राम जी हैं कौन? राम सदा सेवक रुचि राखी। राम जी अपने भक्तों की रुचि की रक्षा करते हैं। आप देखिए कि एक तरफ वो स्वयं भव्य मंदिर में जा रहे हैं इतने लंबे कार्यकाल के बाद, और उसी समय उन्होंने अपने प्रिय भक्त पूज्य गुरुदेव का अमृत महोत्सव भी बनाने का उन्होंने यहाँ पर निर्णय लिया है।
Well, moving on to top global stories. On Saturday, Taiwanese voters decisively elected Lai Ching-te, the presidential candidate of the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, the DPP, despite Chinese pressure to oppose him. China reiterated its commitment to achieving reunification. Now, the win is historic as it marks the DPP's third successive four-year term, something that is unprecedented in Taiwan's current electoral system.
A jubilant celebration in Taiwan's capital Taipei on Saturday, as the ruling Democratic Progressive Party presidential candidate Lai Ching-te swept to power. The win is a rebuff to China, which said it would not give up its goals of reunification. At the celebrations, Lai lauded his victory. The Taiwanese people have taken action to successfully resist the intervention of external forces, he said, adding, "This is because we believe in electing our own president." But he added he was, quote, determined to safeguard Taiwan from threats and intimidation from China. His DPP party champions Taiwan's separate identity and rejects China's territorial claims. In the run-up to the election, China denounced Lai as a dangerous separatist and has repeatedly rebuffed Lai's calls for talks. The DPP was seeking a third successive four-year term, something that's unprecedented under Taiwan's current electoral system. Mounting public frustration at domestic issues across its 8 years in power meant it has lost its majority in parliament, making it harder for Lai to pass legislation. Taiwan's election took place at a time of growing geopolitical tensions between Beijing and the United States. The latter is Taiwan's most important international backer and arms supplier, despite the lack of formal diplomatic ties with the island. In response to the win, U.S. President Joe Biden said the United States does not support the independence of Taiwan. The Biden administration has feared that the election and subsequent transition to a new administration would escalate conflict with Beijing. Since the last election in 2020, China has engaged in an unprecedented level of military activity in the Taiwan Strait, including holding 2 rounds of major war games near the island. Lai, however, said, quote, only peace will benefit both sides.
The following content may contain visuals that are disturbing, graphic, or sensitive in nature. Viewer discretion is advised. This material is intended for mature audiences and may not be suitable for all viewers. Please exercise caution while watching, and if you find such content distressing, we recommend discontinuing viewing. This disclaimer is provided to ensure awareness and to prioritize viewer well-being. And updates from the West Asian conflict between Israel and Hamas next. On Saturday, Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, asserted that Israel would not be deterred by the International Court of Justice in its pursuit of total victory in the Gaza war. Now, this statement came in response to South Africa filing a lawsuit against Israel, alleging genocide against the Palestinians. In a televised address, Netanyahu declared, and I quote, "No one will stop us, not The Hague, not the axis of evil, no one," unquote. Now, regarding a potential military takeover of the Philadelphia corridor along the Gaza Strip's border with Egypt, Netanyahu mentioned that a decision had not been finalized on that. When questioned about Israel's defense budget, Netanyahu disclosed plans for a huge addition, aiming for a substantial build-up to meet the country's long-term needs. He emphasized the goal of establishing an independent military manufacturing sector as well. Meanwhile, following the United States' and the United Kingdom's latest strike in Yemen, the Houthi movement issued a warning of a strong and effective response. This escalation adds to growing tensions as Washington pledges to safeguard shipping from potential attacks by the Iran-aligned group. Take a look at this next report.
I
think they are.
The Houthi movement threatened a strong and effective response on Saturday after the United States carried out another strike in Yemen overnight. It further heightens tensions after Washington vowed to protect shipping lanes from attacks by the Iran-aligned group. The US said its latest strike hit a radar site, a day after dozens of American and British strikes on Houthi facilities in Yemen. A Houthi spokesperson told Reuters the strikes had no significant impact on the group's ability to prevent Israel-affiliated ships from passing through the Red Sea, though the Pentagon said the US-British strikes had, quote, good effects. The strikes have added to concerns about the escalation of the conflict that has spread through the region since the Palestinian militant group Hamas and Israel went to war. Iran's allies also entered the fray from Lebanon, Syria and Iraq. The Houthis' Al Jazeera TV showed hundreds of thousands of people rallied in the Yemeni capital Sana'a, chanting slogans denouncing Israel and the United States on Friday. Residents of Yemen remain defiant in the face of further strikes. "We will fight with Gaza. We will stand. Our position is clear for the US and for Britain. We don't care if our stance will lead to problems," says this man. The UN Special Envoy for Yemen on Saturday urged maximum restraint by all involved in Yemen and warned of an increasingly precarious situation in the region. The Red Sea crisis added to the spread of conflict through the Middle East since Hamas militants rampaged through southern Israel on October 7th, killing 1,200 people and seizing 240 hostages. Israel has responded by laying waste to large sections of Gaza to try to annihilate Hamas. The Gaza Health Ministry said in a statement on Saturday a total of 23,843 Palestinians have been killed in Israeli strikes on the enclave.
Well, time for us to slip into a quick break here. Meanwhile, we're not letting you go that easy. Take a look at this next documentary that has been put out by News9 Plus. It's Chennai's man-made disaster. The sea, the sky, it all fell apart recently when cyclone Michong, whatever you want to call it, hit the coast of Tamil Nadu. A proper documentary. Take a look at this and we'll be back for more.
The city of Chennai in Tamil Nadu is reeling under the aftermath of Cyclone Migjom.
Over 7,000 people have been evacuated ahead of a severe cyclonic storm.
Despite weakening, Cyclone Migjom will continue to cause heavy rainfall.
Nobody could build an infrastructure where in 2 days you are going to get around more than 50 centimeters of rain.
Climate change is a very serious issue and the coastal city of Chennai should take it very seriously.
Year after year, one thing that remains constant in Chennai is the desperation and devastation that monsoon leaves behind.
But none of us expected something like the cyclone Migjom to come in. It was almost like a out of syllabus portion which suddenly landed up.
Cyclone Migjom unleashed the fury of the sea and the sky on Chennai. It turned the bustling metropolis into a vast lake, drowning in its own sorrows. And this is not the first time Chennai has faced the wrath of the floods or the rains. But what went wrong this time? Why did the city, despite lessons learned from the past disaster, fail to control the damage of the cyclone that left behind?
We have three rivers, Adayar, Kuam and Kosisthalyar. Three rivers drain and there's a canal as well. There's a Buckingham Canal which is perpendicular to all the three rivers. So in terms of water draining facility, Chennai is unrivaled. You can't get any other city better than Chennai. Three rivers, then one perpendicular canal, everything is available. But what was happening was the water from the rivers found it difficult to get into the sea.
See, 2023 is like an unprecedented rain. Nobody could imagine or nobody could build an infrastructure where in 2 days you are going to get around more than 50 centimeters of rain, especially in all the places where it's going to drain the catchment areas, the sea, where the river water or the drains will drain out. Everywhere 2 days, incessant rains. So that is the reason why there was flooding at some places.
Rainfall played a dicey dance of nature, took a peculiar turn in 2023, unlike the short intense burst of 2021 or the scattered showers of the 2020. This year rainfall showcased a different rhythm, over 500 mm in just 64 hours. With consistent medium intensity rain, Chennai found itself submerged, a stark contrast to the vast, and the numbers tell a tale of their own.
Chennai was lucky this time actually, if you ask me. Why, this cyclone got formed at about 100 kilometers from the Chennai's coast. So had it formed about 300 kilometers away from the Chennai's coast, the amount of energy that it would get from the oceans and would have hit Chennai would have been much more bigger than what we saw due to Migjom.
Chennai is not new to cyclone. In the last 10 years, 6 cyclones have graced the shores of Chennai.
See, for a cyclone to get formed, you need 3 important parameters. 1, the ocean's temperature should be 27 degrees Celsius plus. Number 2, you need to have a lot of moisture. And number 3, you need to have a monsoon wind. So already the temperature of Indian Ocean and the Bay of Bengal has crossed 29. So one parameter is already set there permanently. Second thing is, when you heat up water, what will happen? Water becomes evaporated and there is a lot of moisture, a lot of stuff in the atmosphere. So 2 is ready. What you need is a monsoon wind. So during the northeast monsoon, you get the monsoon wind. So it gets, the 3 parameters are met. So you first depression is formed, then a deep depression, and a cyclone is, then it upgrades itself into a cyclone, then from cyclone to a super cyclone.
For many, rain is nature's gift, a lifeline for parched lands. But here in Chennai, the northeast monsoons transforms into an unwelcoming guest, bringing devastation etched into the fabric of Chennai's existence. Yes, natural causes and climatic change contribute to the rising waters, but the real culprit, the silent assailant, is us, the people. Our appetite for development, our relentless encroachment upon once pristine lake has turned a blessing into a curse for the people of Chennai.
We cannot escape from the wrath that climate change will bring. At the same time, we cannot hide behind climate change and say all this is because of climate change. most of the drains in Chennai, natural drains, are occupied or encroached, and if Chennai has to become a climate resilient city by the 22nd century, lot more needs to be done than what we are doing now.
I often tell people actually, there are two things which don't forget their roots. One is the elephant. The elephant does not forget the roots because today's elephant was part of a herd by a matriarch which was 50-60 years old. Okay, and that matriarch's experiences from her mother, which is again 50-60 years old. Similar is water. Water will never forget its roots. It will trace its path depending on how much rains happen. So if the rains are heavy, it has its path, it will take its path.
Chennai and its two neighbouring districts, Kanchipuram and Tiruvallur, together had 6,000 lakes. Today only 3,896 exist. In 2012, a study by the Indian Institute of Technology, Madras, estimated that Chennai had around 650 water bodies in the early 1980s, but only 30 remained by 2012. And as per the Water Resource Department, today 19 major lakes of Chennai have shrunk from 1,130 hectares to 645 hectares. This is a 90% decline in the last 30 years.
There are about 30 major drains. There used to be 542 small streams. So when the rain falls, the small streams will carry the water to the major drains. The major drains will carry the water to the rivers, and rivers will carry the water to the oceans. What are they? These are not perennial rivers. They are actually drainage systems for Chennai. When there is rainfall, it ensures that rainfall doesn't get stagnated, and it carried over to the wetlands, and from wetlands it goes to the oceans. So such a beautiful system, such a beautiful drainage system, if you ask me, is completely destroyed in the last about 70-80 years or 100 years of urbanization.
The core of the city, where the new stormwater drain project has taken place, there was no flooding at all. Immediately, 1 hour, even after this incessant rain, after 1 hour, the roads were normal, traffic is normal, everything was normal. It was the suburbs where this project could not yet be completed. See, this is a project, an ambitious project, started at 2022, when it will be completed in 2025.
Chennai was one of the leading states to ban single-use plastic. Be it AIDMK or DMK, they were vocal against the use of plastic, but they failed to implement it on the ground. Despite banning single-use plastic in 2019, a 2020 study by the Tamil Nadu Pollution Control Board estimated that Chennai generates over 150 tons of plastic carry bags and 100 tons of other plastic waste every day. Unchecked use of plastic and the plastic ending up at these water storm drains become a major cause of water stagnation for days.
Yes, the garbage left behind is an issue. It clogs the drains, water is not able to get out. Plus, they should also be asked to not to throw garbage, plastics, so that it chokes the drains and the rainwater or flood water doesn't get into the drains.
See, the important lesson what we have learnt is prepare for the worst, expect the unexpected. If they are going to say heavy rainfall, expect for very heavy rainfall. We will have to have models to ensure that if there are going to be 100 centimeters of rains, how we are going to protect the citizens, how we are going to ensure that normal life limps back immediately to normalcy.
Yes, the scale of the attack surprised us.
When you get a series of alerts, 16 intelligence alerts, if Maharashtra government at that time had alerted the Coast Guard and the Navy, this 2611 would not have happened at all.
And one of the details they had planned was to use these dhagas to mislead the investigative agencies.
All this was to be presented as a Hindu terror.
So it was a Pakistan operation. The LET was the front end.
As the attacks were on, it was clear that they were planned and launched from Pakistani territory.
for all of those victims of terror that was exported from Pakistan over the years, including but not limited to 2611.
This and more, streaming on world's first news OTT, News9 Plus. Download now.
Currently, the industry is facing a lot of challenges as far as demand is concerned. Basically, the US markets has slowed down because of high inflation.
So obviously, diamonds being a dream product, something which doesn't have a utility value or is seen as a luxury. So that obviously goes off your shopping list. That's the first item that will go off your shopping list, especially in recessionary trends.
That lab-grown diamonds are not mined, and they do away with the entire mining. So they save up on all the environmental damage that is associated with mining, and of course, the mining cost, which is why they're even more affordable.
People that is impacted by all these recessions are the artisans, are the people who work in this industry.